So it's probably about time to do a quick update on the powertrain, this engine. So it's the 2RZ we're putting in here, and it is a bit of a chore. We've got it, so this is parts of the second engine just for fitting. And we've pretty much got it set to where it's gonna sit against the firewall, and the transmission and the shifter fit real nice. So it's a W58 mated to that 2RZ, and we have the transmission mount. You can see the I actually took that off and remounted it. I had to move it back a bit to mate up with this new transmission. So that's in, and where that's going to be, which pretty much dictates where this engine's going to be, which is about here, and gives us some room in the front. And we sort of clear across the top. It's close. And then the next big task is this cross member. So you can see how we're not lining up. And also this cross member, which is the excessive manufacturing A86 cross member, needs to be moved anyway. Like, I don't know if you can see this. That that control arm is forward of the tower, so it needs to come back. So I think we need to fit into there. So I'm thinking, so in any case, the next task is to probably cut this cross member up and do a couple things. One of them is this bracket probably moves flush with that front. The whole thing comes in, and it needs to be lower to fit our I don't know if I can get you in there. Right, so the oil pan's got to snake in there somehow, and that's close. And also, you can see the mounting brackets down here for a steering rack, which I have off an MR2, that AW11 steering rack. But I don't know if that's going to sneak in there, or I'm going to have to use the old linkages. But in any case, that's where we are. So we're going to spend some time with trying to figure out this cross member, get that sorted, and spend some time rebuilding the real engine that's going to go in there. And that's where we are. Well, we cut it up. So the cross member is now 3 pieces. One, the center that's missing, it's out. It's getting cut to size right now. And this guy. So usually there's a spacer in here. I had that spacer in there before, and this was all dropped down. But I don't think that was going to work because it put the control arm bracket here too low, or lower than it was before with the previous cross member, and it put it where the holes were before. It put it forward, so it wasn't lining up with the tower. So now it does. So I think this is where it goes, and the plan is to weld that piece back in, except lower on this guy, and then we're going to gusset it. So we'll just make it super strong. So that's the plan. I've got some other video from like months ago of the engine stuff. I think I'll just put that together in this video, and that'll all be engine things. So hope you enjoy. We have an engine. Well, we have a mock-up. So this is a 2RZ block and head that we are using to see about fitting this thing in here. So I got this excessive engineering or excessive manufacturing AE86 crossmember. The thing is a beast. I think if anything happens to that car, that thing is gonna that thing's gonna look like nothing happened to it. But we're fitting this in here to see what it looks like and how these things line up. And it's definitely a fluid process with wood and such. Let's take a look down here. What's going on with our transmission? We got it connected to the drive line, and of course where the transmission mount is doesn't line up with the cross member, so that's going to be some fabrication to get that fixed. But it's pretty exciting that this engine is starting, or we're starting to see what it'll look like. The plan is to do individual throttle bodies out here. So in theory, we're going to cut this somewhere on there. Maybe try to flip it so they come up or they go down. I don't know. That's to be determined. But it's progress. It's progress. So do you just have the pattern memorized?
Well, I can tell you your torque patterns are basically two that they use. So, and it's really not as big a deal on this as it is the head gasket, but your torque pattern will be one of these two to start with, the other one second. And then you either you crisscross or you just start working out from the center.
Oh, okay.
That's basically all you're doing is especially for gaskets, you're trying to get the gasket to squeeze out.
Squeeze out, spread out from the center.
Instead of if you start the outside and it'll bunch up in the center.
Right.
So once you understand
That makes sense.
I'm gonna make it a little bit easier.
The persuader. Just trying to get all those to 90.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, here's a 1985 MR2. I just got to figure out how to get the steering rack out. Looks like fun, huh? All right. Well, wish me luck. I mean, I know it's in there. Now just to get it out. Well, I I do believe this is a success. Let's see if we can get this guy to come out. Look at that. One steering rack off a 1985 MR2. All right, kids. Well, a couple safety notes. Don't do this at home.